Hey everyone, happy Friday. Welcome back to today's episode. Here with AWS Amplify, continuing our week of extensibility. We have an awesome show for all of you today. You know my guests by now. I have René on screen, and then I also have Kyle. How you two doing tonight?
I'm doing great.
Doing really good, really good. It's Friday for us. It's about to be the weekend. Some people that are watching, maybe your weekend has already started, but yeah, good.
Oh man, I'm still getting used to that. Like, I caught that you said Friday for us, and I was like, oh, we do have people globally. Yeah,
Yeah,
Japan. Shout out to your Saturday.
yeah. If it's Saturday for you, let us know.
Definitely. But yeah, chat. How are you enjoying your weekend? You got any plans coming up? Let us know in the chat. Love to engage with all of you as we kick off today's exciting episode. Now, let's just set the table here. As we were kicking things off, we explored a lot of ways that you can extend Amplify applications, whether it be overriding the resources that Amplify generates for you, adding custom resources that the CLI doesn't even provide. You can just go ahead and bring those in with the integration that we have with the CDK. As you saw with Anna, we also have the ability to extend Amplify the other direction. So instead of going from the CLI to the CDK, we can go from the admin UI and have these awesome storage features and preview S3 buckets in the admin UI. Again, that feature is in preview. We'd love your feedback on it. But continuing the story today, we can kind of complete the puzzle here. And we have our Amplify project. And the truth is, sometimes your organization has a pipeline already set up. And Amplify may have been a non-starter. Great for prototyping, as a lot of us know, but we can actually take that to the next level and move this application to production by integrating this with your existing pipeline that you might have at your startup or your enterprise. Renee, can you give us a little bit more detail on what this feature is and what the team has done to make this a seamless experience?
Yeah, absolutely. So with Amplify, you could have always created production ready front end web back end applications for as a front end developer. But oftentimes when you want to integrate these in a more established environment or an environment where you have an existing CI/CD system that's usually built on top of CDK, then you kind of had to juggle a bunch of different things. You have to execute the CLI in like a headless mode and so on and so forth, right? And now we just said, hey, you know what? Let's make it super simple, right? Let's just give you the ability to export your Amplify backend into CDK and add a few lines of code in CDK, and it's basically ready to go to deploy, right? And we can, because of the beauty of some of the CDK benefits here, it's then also very easy to do multi-account deployments, multi-region deployments. It's just a few more additional lines of code that CDK developers are used to.
So just to kind of unpack that a little bit, you're basically saying that with Amplify CLI, you can run a command and it takes your entire Amplify project and it's just like, boom, here's something that you can drop into a CDK environment.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's
Dang.
we should probably do like a bet on how many lines of code it will be to integrate it into CDK. But my wager is if you already have a CDK stack set up, then it's probably 4 lines of code to
Wow.
amplify to it and deploy it, right? So we try to make it super simple.
Dang. Amplify always meeting you where you're at.
Right?
Jeez.
Exactly.
That should be
Yeah.
on like a hoodie or something.
Yeah.
But with that, I mean, it's great that we have all these features with Amplify Export, but we also had another announcement today regarding our authentication side of things that I know a lot of customers are going to be loving. Can't wait to get their hands on it. Can't wait to see what you all build. But our UI component got a huge facelift when it came to authentication. To speak on that a little bit, I want to just go ahead and set the stage that authentication has always been one of the easiest things to get started with in Amplify. But we heard from our customers that, well, you want the ability to abstract a little bit further while still giving you all the benefits of customization. And it's actually going to be integrated within, like hot off the press, revamp the workshop that we had today. We're going to go ahead and integrate some of the new UI components in our demo just to showcase just how easy it is and how cool it is now that it has this version 2.0 in front of it. So
finishing the series strong. That's what I like to see.
We put forth the effort on this one, like the extra polish.
Yeah. Now this time we cannot run over. We gotta, pick up the pace, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. So Kyle, sorry, I'm gonna have to mute you for this one.
What?
Oh, I see how it is. All right.
Let me go ahead and share my screen. This is actually going to be a demo that some of you might have already seen, but again, you haven't seen it with the new authentication component. So going through here, I just have a regular application created with Create React App, and it's going to do a couple things. First and foremost, you can see that I'm keeping track of two colors here. The first one is going to be the color of a color picker, and the second one is going to be the color of a light bulb. Now, you know that for those of you that follow me online, I love APIs. Like any API, put in the chat your favorite APIs, I will check them out. But the one I found was for my light bulb right over here.
Oh,
this guy.
That one right there. The company that makes the lights, they have an API for their light bulb, which is crazy. So I was like, I gotta check this out. Sure enough, here it is. And we'll pick a color from a color picker. We'll click a button. And once that button gets clicked, we're gonna go ahead and update the color in my light bulb. Now, the plan is that we can get this together, push it out to the web, export the project to CDK, all within the time frame that we have, and then also kick off the code pipeline deployment.
well, you have 52 minutes, so let's go.
I need to stop talking. Right. First and foremost, let's go ahead and initialize this project with Amplify. Now, a lot of us, if you're on this talk and you've been following us throughout the week, you know this step by heart now. Amplify init-y. It's going to go ahead and accept all of the defaults, which I'm going to create React App application, perfectly fine, and just get me ready for success with Amplify. You can see it's doing its thing right there. In the first category, and actually the only category that we're going to be adding here is going to be authentication. So once this gets done deploying sort of the initial scaffold, we'll go ahead and get that command set up.
And do we already have the CDK project created, or is this going to be a new CDK stack?
I think the scenario we're going to paint is that this is an existing CDK pipeline, but it has not been integrated with the stack that we're going to generate today. So it'll be closer to real world. Oftentimes when you have this infrastructure, it's already in place. So we'll show what that experience looks like, where you can take an Amplify project and bring it over to your team and just be like, hey, drop this in.
Boom. I like that.
Yeah, it's usually like a whole.
As we wait.
Yeah. I feel like we should change the loading animation there on Amplify Init. If you have any ideas for what we should replace it with, like a random meme generator or something like that, we should probably just add an Easter egg.
a picture of me that just kind of spins.
No.
To be honest,
Maybe
I'm kind of surprised at the lack of emojis.
Oh yeah, yeah. We've recently added more. I think some of the more established flows has been a little bit starving of emojis. But if you use some of our newer categories, we use more emojis now. There we go. There's a green checkmark emoji.
Boom. So Michael has just did the typical Amplify auth default, username sign up, something that probably a lot of people are familiar with if they've worked with Amplify at this point. And now we're just doing that push-y to get everything up into the AWS backend.
Definitely.
Or the resources set up, right?
Well, this is deploying. We could actually take a look at what these new authentication components look like. If we hop over to the docs here, I'm going to get rid of that and just slide this way. Little movie magic there. And over here on the UI component section, You note that it says version 2.0. We also have a link here. So if you're used to checking out the authenticated docs, or the reverse that, the docs on authentication, just head to this link and you get this super cool looking page. I love how it's like this aesthetic is just super nice.
Why does it
It's
look
just
so clean?
amazing. Yeah. I love how they do the A for Amplify. It just looks nice.
It does. Why does it look
You know
so
what?
clean? That's
But
what we
there's
do.
you gotta scroll down. The favorite part for me is the fact that you can have a live code editor here.
That is
And
cool.
then you gotta keep scrolling. You can
Oh,
just
I didn't even know that. Whoa.
yeah, you can edit this code and it's actually gonna reflect on the right-hand side. So this is like code sandbox and it's just so nice.
What
And
is
then you can
this? Is this Chakra UI?
no, this is the Amplify UI. So we're actually also now building our own UI primitives that you can use, right? So that's really the everything around this new authenticator. We're actually also looking into creating new UI primitives that we're using as part of the new authenticator. And if
That's
you keep scrolling, the
yeah.
theming part, click on terminal or classic, just keep clicking.
Yes.
It like updates the entire site live as you're exploring it. It's just it's got to be one of the best UI doc sites on earth. I just love it. Shout out to Danny who designed all of this from the Amplify team.
Is this a .aws site?
Yeah, it is. You see the .aws at the very end. We
so
come on.
cool.
This is such a great site. Yeah.
So the site is built with the components. That's why when I click on this, it's all changing like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. That's how hot off the press this is. Like I haven't even had a chance to check it out.
And you gotta I just put the link in the chat for Danny's Twitter. He's really cool. So he has spent a lot of time designing all this. Obviously also the entire team in here. Yeah. Okay, enough credits. Now let's get into the code.
So we have this getting started here, and we're gonna hop into the components once we get done. But here on the side, you can check out all these components here. We're gonna be using the Authenticator. And what do we got? So this is me, long-time listener, first-time caller, clicking in here. With Authenticator is what we want. And then here are the highlighted parts that will pertain to us, I'm assuming. So let me install this real quick. Okay. Amplify UI React, cool. Swap back. What do we need? We have to import Amplify, well, of course. And then we have the with Authenticator. And then we have some styling as well attached to that. That makes sense. Let me just grab both of these.
Michael, do you mind? On the upper right corner, you can also switch between light mode and dark mode.
Oh, thank you. I was struggling there. Okay. That looks great. So we have this, and then, so where's this going? This is going to go in index.js, bring in my exports, and bring in Authenticator. Okay. I think this is what I want.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm feeling at home. Let's go here, paste that in, except I don't need that there. And then over in app.js with Authenticator. And then we're going to wrap our app in it. So this is very similar to how it was before, aside from now we have these styles to bring in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, you gotta configure Amplify. I already see the mistake coming soon. It's like yesterday's stream.
Not a mistake. Area of opportunity.
Exactly. So in chat, there is a question on how Cognito authentication works with MFA, if you can bring in your own like one-time password app. And so the answer for that is actually yes. And if you configure it in the CLI, one of my absolute favorite parts about this new authenticator is that it actually detects your backend authentication configuration settings and automatically adapts the UI to be compatible for that. So if you enable MFA, will be aware of that and apply the right states into the authenticator experience for you.
You don't have to do anything.
You don't have to do anything, exactly. And that's just what's really amazing about this.
Okay, so according to what I got, we're done with authentication. Yeah, let me run the app. Let's see where we're at.
Oh, did you push your backend yet?
Yeah. Did I push my backend?
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah,
find out in a second.
I did. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So far, I've seen all of this before. Now, right? Like we haven't changed anything from Authenticator from what Michael has implemented in the past, right?
Except for the styles. We brought in a separate style sheet.
Oh,
Yeah.
brought in the styles. Got it.
It's actually an all new style sheet and an all new style system, right? So you can really customize it more as well. Whereas before there were some restrictions, and now we are basically giving you a highly themable setup. You can keep customizing to your heart's content.
Oh, it recognizes my password too. Or
Yeah.
yeah, like my 1Password clicks in now.
Oh yeah, exactly. We also have 1Password integration now, so that's the other cool thing about this. Like any sort of password manager, really. Yeah.
I keep forgetting that CSS is the way to style stuff on websites.
I'm nerding out over the littlest things here. So like validation is coming in.
Yeah. Yeah,
right
and
now.
actually it will know your password policy as well and tell you the validation that has failed. So for instance, you have failed for let's assume you have failed your password length, it will actually tell you that. There's just so many incredible features behind this authenticator. Just saying it's a newer style actually doesn't really cut it.
Nice. That is super cool. So here's the application here. And again, if you've seen me do demos before, this is sort of my hello world when I introduce folks to Amplify. And what I can do is come in here, click on this green right here, and it's going to change the light bulb there, but then also it'll change the light bulb in my room as well. So if I click red to make it more apparent, all of a sudden it's red.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty
That's really
cool, but like one thumbs down because it doesn't link to his microphone. So
I was about to suggest I'll pay $20 for whoever can hack the slide during the time of the demo.
Let's see here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually push this up live. So that way, if you did want to log in during the show, you can change this as well. So we'll say add light config. Sync it up. Perfect. And this repo, what is this? CDK starter. Got it. If I go to the console, the Amplify console, and click on AWS Amplify, we have some sample apps here. I believe it is this one. Go. And let's actually do can we do just a brand new one?
Yeah, let's host a new app. You can host a new app. Let's go to GitHub.
Pull it from GitHub. And I think the repo itself is called Magnolia. It's for a conference. Go.
So what are you doing right now?
Magic.
Well, I know that.
So I took that local code that we had. I went ahead and I pushed it up to GitHub. So then from the Amplify console, I can authenticate with GitHub and be like, hey, bring in all of my repos. And in doing so, it recognizes that there's an Amplify backend, and it will automatically host this on an HTTPS URL for me. Pretty cool.
Got it.
So basically, he wants to make sure the website is hosted so everybody else can modify his lights during the talk.
Wait, I can't just go to localhost 3000?
That joke. Oh my goodness.
Oh, man.
Well, I can only see this going wrong where the light is just flashing in the back.
I've for those asking in the chat, yeah, magnoliajs. That is the one. There you go. That was the conference where I first demoed this. And that's exactly what happened. The lights were just going. Now, as this is building, saving and deploying, keep in mind that I do have those API keys. that I need to send out. Now, Michael's pushing API keys on stream. Don't worry, I'm gonna regenerate those after the call, and I don't really care too much about my lights. So.
You got about 38 minutes to hack them.
Well, he
Right.
doesn't care until it's 2 a.m. in the morning, and suddenly the lights going on.
Oh my goodness! So at magnoliajs, that's exactly what I forgot to do, is turn them off. And you think like nobody's actually gonna do this. No, they do. Good times.
It's like all strobe effect.
So a couple of things that I need here. Let me just open this up since I'm not being very careful about these anyways. Create React app. So you got to prefix your stuff with, React app. So there's the light ID. We're going this way. I'm sorry, chat. I'm going to be going side to side for a little bit. Here we go. That value, and then we'll add another variable. But this is exactly how you add environment variables within the Amplify console. Then one more here. We have the API key itself, and then I'll grab that whole thing. Cool.
I hope everybody took a screenshot of these variables.
Do it. If anyone has like that much intensity to just grab my lights, I honestly would just be proud.
I would love to mess with Michael, but I'm not about to type all that.
Right. We do have a question in the chat. So as far as these variables, can they be managed by AWS Secrets Manager? They absolutely can. What you would want to do though is put them inside of a Lambda function. So if you do amplify add function, we have integration with handling environment secrets actually through a parameter store. So the settings will walk you through and they'll say, hey, are you trying to add a public environment variable like what I just did? And you could do that. And then the next prompt is, well, do you want to also add an environment secret? And that'll store it securely so that way it can't be accessed. But you want to do that through a Lambda function so that the front end isn't exposed to any of that.
So you're just kind of doing this because of the demo to kind of save some time. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
exactly.
So you're just lazy? Are you just telling us you're lazy?
I'm saying efficient.
Oh.
Real quick though, it looks like a murder scene in this room, so I'm just gonna do one of those. All right. So we have this application. It's currently building, and I'll send out the link as soon as that is done deploying. But in the meantime, let's just imagine that we tested it out, it's working well, and now we have to get this into our pipeline. This is where this new command comes into play, which is going to be, there we go.
Weird pop out from the right side.
I can get rid of this one.
I have a feeling you're not going to let that one go.
Have I told all of you how sad I am that it's the last day that Kyle and I will be on stream?
Okay.
So we have this command here. René, do you wanna speak on this?
No, I was just about to ask you. So what is this command? I was about to play dumb, but I guess you're smarter. You're just ahead of it.
Amplify Export is the command in store for us today. This is going to generate an asset folder full of our Amplify stack. Now we specify where we want this folder to live. So as you can see here, I'm doing --out and then // to put it in this directory. Now, typically, you'd probably want to put this in version control, push it up, and then have your DevOps person pull it down or whatever that process would be for your organization. But that's
and is the --out, what would be the default behavior without the --out, or is that a required parameter?
So it's a required parameter because we need to know where you want it to land in, if that makes sense.
Got it.
So yeah, I think if you I think it is required in the sense that you absolutely need it for it to be functionally useful. But I think if you don't specify it, we create like a default folder for you that's called something like my CDK pipeline or something like that.
Oh, okay, cool.
All right, so we have our exported asset file, folder rather. As you can see, we just had the auth category, so there are all the auth resources. Now, imagine again that scenario where somehow, some way, there's going to be a handoff between this file and whoever is managing your existing pipeline. I'm going to mimic that with the power of drag and drop, but substitute that with your own flavor. So let's bring in our existing CDK file, or project rather. And for those of you, should we do a brief overview on the CDK?
Yeah. I think there's quite a few files going on, so you might as well just kind of go through it.
Yeah. Let me go through it just like this. So the way that CDK works, it works with the idea of stacks. So when you deploy something with like Amplify, add, custom, you're creating a new CDK stack. Really, it's just a bundle of resources that seem to fit together, like API Gateway and Lambda. In our scenario, we're going to have an existing stack for this Lambda operation. So here's a Lambda file right here. You can imagine this properly named other API stack is going to be doing some things. And then we'll add in our own exported Amplify stack that we just created. Now, when we work with pipelines, meaning we're trying to verify, does this build? Does everything get set correctly? Maybe a publish step at the end. Now we're dealing with stages. And Code Pipeline is excellent at this. It's tried and true. It's one of our the most robust system that we have, just because when it comes to building assets, you want it to be heavily reliable. And that's exactly what we're using here. So each stage we go ahead and define here. So let's look at this one, this other API stage. This is mimicking some existing infrastructure that you have that is part of your pipeline. And sure enough, it's just mimicking a web service here. It's bringing in one of the stacks that we've already defined. And that's going to be added as a stage within our CDK pipeline. And if you're familiar with CDK, I'm sure you've come across this many times, but this is, once again, just sort of heads up for those that are brand new to this and are wondering what the heck is going on. I'm kind of jumping around here, but those are the main pieces here. You have stacks of resources. You have a pipeline as part of those resources. And then for each pipeline asset, you can define a particular stage. Questions?
You might questions? It's not like anybody else can ask, so I will just ask. No, so if you go into my pipeline stack.ts, I think it's also interesting to show folks like where these stages come in. Oh, who's in this code snippet? Is it René?
Are you still in here?
I am still in here. Let me quickly sabotage this. Let me go. All right, so if you follow me down below here, this is where we actually see the stages being added to the pipeline, right? So in this case, we've got a pipeline set up that's just running a CDK synth and a few just initial commands to set up the environment for the pipeline. And then you basically add in all the different stages that really matter for you, right? So in this case, we just have some existing stage that is doing an other API deployment. This can be like a pre-production stage or some other format that really works for you. Yeah.
Awesome. Let me do something here. I just want to check on this. Oh yeah, we're good. There we go. Okay. If you want to have a little fun with us on stream, on this final day of stream, log in, create an account, and just have some fun with the lights. I'm kind of curious to see how crazy they get. I just put it in the chat.
I'm a little bit worried. I hope it will be fine.
I've battle tested this. So I get if we do more than 250 a minute. I think we'll be okay. I hope we'll be okay.
Awesome.
So we need to do, as you all are having fun with that, we need to go ahead and do a sort of exchange of one asset file and bring that into here. So I'm going to pop this open. Come into here. And that Amplify stack is adeptly named, going to go into this stacks directory. So let's bring that over. Can I do... I have this cool... Oh, go ahead.
Emulating a front-end developer, downloading the asset into a USB drive, walking over to a DevOps engineer, have them plug it into a computer, and then dragging it over. Because that That's what it feels like here.
So we have this file that got generated. I'm going to bring that over into Stacks. And they're like, oh, thank you, engineer. And that's pretty much all we need from this project. I'm going to maximize this. Go. And then from here, now we can start. I mean, we've added those assets, but we haven't brought them into our existing pipeline. We haven't written the code to be able to do that. So let's go ahead and tackle that. I'm going to first create a file, and we'll just say that this is going to be our Amplify stage. So we have an existing pipeline set up. It already has multiple stages, and we're like, hey, we want to add in one more. Amplify stage. Just like so. Now in doing so, I could probably copy a little bit from this file.
And at this point, this is just typical CDK setup, right?
Yeah, exactly. So using this right here, I mean, whenever you create a CDK project, you're going to have pretty much this one-liner right here when you have a new stage that you're dealing with.
Got it.
But on this line too, it's bringing in the original stack. So I'm going to update this a little bit, and we'll say that this is going to be our, what do we have here? Here we go. I have a little snippet for me. All right. We have this construct that the Amplify team, René, has created.
Yep, exactly.
Awesome. So to just really make this a simple experience, whenever you export that project from Amplify and you bring in that stack, we created a module that just makes this a more seamless experience. Amplify Export Backend is the module that you need to create, or I'm sorry, to import. And it's just this one-liner right here that does all the heavy lifting for you. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and import the path module, because we need to tell it this isn't going to be an external stack that we're dealing with. This is going to be something from our local file system. And Node.js folks, I'm sure you're very familiar with the path variable. All right, so yeah, if you have like code cleanup for me, René, hit me up.
I'll do it.
You'll write this?
Oh, no, just kidding. Come on.
Oh, I was like, you're just gonna go back and forth like Pac-Man in here?
I'm just here exactly playing Pac-Man. I'm here to add emojis to the comments. I was like, can you type any faster here?
Yeah, I'm actually a terribly slow typer.
It's okay.
Is it though? We'll see. Let me let's cheat. Let's do a little movie magic here, and then we can just talk about the code instead of seeing me struggle.
Oh wow, right. That's too much movie magic right there.
Yeah. Wrong movie.
Let me actually clean up this code. This is a little bit embarrassing. Well, I mean,
René's just like, ugh.
Okay. Okay, there we go. I can read this now.
I found out before the call. Oh, well, Prettier's doing it. So every time I save, you're gonna have to deal with it.
Oh no, I don't like this. Come on, who has the braces on the next line? That's like some C# thing. That's not TypeScript.
Friday, everybody. All right.
Are you missing a comma at the end of the closing brace? I know that's a thing in Flutter, so I don't know if that's a thing on line 15. I don't know.
I'm gonna take my ball and go home. I'm tired of this.
No. So Kyle, that's actually optional. Some people have it there just for the sake of making it easier to remember if you want to add something else as well.
Yeah, but sometimes it fixes the formatting, is what I'm saying.
Oh, that's fancy. Nope, didn't work. I tried Prettier.
I tried.
No, I can. Look, if it makes you happy, okay, it can save without formatting. There we go.
Oh, thank you. Oh, okay, cool. So I can finally do this now. Okay.
We do have a question here. So they're asking, is this project distributed by Amazon CloudFront? I don't have the answer to that.
I mean, the way that the Amplify hosting works is a fully managed service, right? So we do all all the hosting capabilities for you, and elements of that is using CloudFront as well. But we don't necessarily expose that CloudFront distribution to you because it's a fully managed service. Yeah.
Awesome. I kind of breezed by it, but essentially all we're doing is we're adding a new stage. This is how you do it in CDK. We have a path module brought in so that way we can reference where this project is going to be located at. You can see it's Amplify Export Light Show. That's the name of this stack up here. So we're basically saying at this stage, go ahead and build out this stack. Now this is just creating the file. We haven't actually added it to our pipeline, and we should probably do that right over here in the my pipeline stacks.ts file. Easy enough. I'm just going to go ahead and first and foremost import this module, that stage that we just created. And then the super cool part is that, oh, you're going to do the honors, Renee? You're going to.
Oh, I would love to. Am I allowed to?
Go ahead.
Okay, so all you have to do is write pipelines.add stage, and then new amplify stage, and basically pass in a name for that. So that could be the amplify stage, or you can call it maybe the production stage or whatever you need it to be, right? In this case, I'm going to call it amplify stage. And that's it. Like, you are now deploying Amplify backends through CDK and using CDK pipelines, all the best practices of CDK. Basically, I think I lost my bet on 5 lines of code. I think it turned out to be 6 or 7. So I'm sorry for that. But, well, maybe it depends on the formatter. Clearly, Michael's formatter is the issue here. But this is really it. Like, you can run Amplify Export. Just give it to your DevOps engineer. They're going to add like 3-4 lines of code here, depending on the formatter again. And then they're ready to go. They're ready to deploy.
Awesome.
This looks pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and I'm not even that familiar with CDK, to be honest. Now, let me ask a couple questions just to make sure that I understand this. So first we have our existing Amplify project, however you want to build out your Amplify project with whatever resources we want, right? So whether that be authentication, which is what we used, or if we wanted to add data store or API or anything like that, or API or storage, right? Then all the steps would be the same, right? Because they're all going to be exported during the Amplify export, right?
That is correct.
Awesome. So no additional steps are needed. Now, what happens if for whatever reason I have multiple Amplify backends or not backends, multiple Amplify environments? When I do export, is it exporting that specific environment, or is there a variable that I need to pass in, or how would something like that work?
So when you run Amplify Export from the command line, you're always exporting that particular environment. But then when you go into CDK, if you can go back to the stages file, Michael, when you actually go in here, you see that there's an Amplify environment parameter. You can keep it as the export environment name, or you can put in any sort of name for this environment, and we're going to instantiate a new environment based on that name, and essentially clone your current environment with a new name if you want as well, right?
Got it. So then I would essentially, like, let's say I was in the dev environment and I ran export, I could still put in production right here on line 15, Amplify environment, and it would initialize the production environment.
Yeah, exactly. It will initialize whatever you exported as the new production environment, so it can handle that. Yeah. Okay. And basically, this Amplify environment, you should try to keep it unique because it cascades downstream to all the Amplify resources. So S3 buckets, IAM roles, they need to be unique globally, right? Like in the truest sense of the word globally, right? Globally in terms of AWS globally. And so for instance, if you want to do multi-account deployments of Amplify or multi-region deployments of Amplify, all you have to do now is basically place some sort of a unique identifier either based on that region or based on an account in this Amplify environments field. And then you basically just got multi-environment and multi-region, multi-account deployments working.
Awesome. Okay, so then, all right. So now I understand the exporting part, and I actually have this folder that's been exported or generated based off of whatever my my -- out destination is, right? So now I have this folder, and you said this is where we hand it off to like the DevOps engineer, the person that's responsible for handling all the CDK, right? So at this point, best practice would be, I think you mentioned, was to push it up to a repo, and then the DevOps engineer would be able to pull it down and then add it to the CDK stack, right?
Exactly. Yep.
So then as a front end developer, I can add in these new resources, and I don't necessarily have to worry about waiting for somebody else to build them out for me. I could just start using whatever Amplify provides for me, and then I can already start contributing to the existing CDK pipeline that my company's using.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the things we kind of indirectly touched upon here is that we allow you to export the Amplify project over and over again. It's not like a one-time event. It's not like just eject out of Amplify. What this actually gives you the ability to do is to keep deploying your newer version of your Amplify backend whenever you are ready to move to production and whenever you're ready to hand it over to your DevOps team.
And that makes a whole lot of sense, especially now that we also have Amplify hooks where I can, see that, like, okay, I have a new push. And now when I do my Amplify push, I also want to do my Amplify export. We have that hook into and push up the exported files to my DevOps team, and then they can pull it whenever they see it. So this is looking really cool. And then in terms of integrating it into the actual CDK stack, part that I'm like completely unfamiliar with, it seems like all we really need to do is just create an Amplify stage, which extends some type of stage, a CDK stage, right? And once that's set up and configured, we just simply add it to the pipeline.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. I think I got it.
Yeah.
I was paying attention.
See, you can be a TypeScript engineer too. Okay.
I'm officially a DevOps engineer.
Oh, yeah. I said TypeScript engineer because I thought that was a lower lift, but you really went all out there on DevOps.
Somebody send me a Docker t-shirt. All right.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and push us to GitHub, and then while the pipeline is doing its thing, we can chat a little bit more. But that's all I'm doing in this step.
So your CDK based pipeline actually is always it's basically working off of GitHub as a source of truth. So basically, now that Michael has committed this to GitHub and then pushed it to the cloud, to GitHub in the cloud, it should kick off a new pipeline run, right, with the new Amplify backend capabilities.
Definitely. I think we had a question in here. Yeah. So can you tell me a good strategy for rollback within my Amplify project without the need to build everything again? So I add auth, I add a function. How do I go back to just auth?
So I think there might be different context needed. So if you're specifically talking about like the CDK pipeline, guess what? It's all versioned with Git. So you can just go one commit down, push again, and you're all set. Version control right out of the gate. Everything is infrastructure as code. CloudFormation is going to resolve the differences and either recreate or delete the items and re-push them. If you're doing it just using Amplify CLI today, we support multi-environment workflows as well. So if you're trying out something that you don't feel like you're so certain about, you can create a new environment, play with it, and whenever you're like, nope, this is not going great, you can always delete the environment or restore it from another environment as well. So a lot of different workflows depending on where you're situated at in your deployment.
Awesome. And then let's see here. Oh no, my lights aren't working. I'll check on that in just a second.
I think I know the issue. So let's just I think you just need to re-kick the build after you have set the environment variables. Because I checked, I didn't get the thing set up properly.
I was wondering if that was going to take place. I was like trying to
click into CDK starter. Just click into CDK starter. Oh no. Oh, sorry. Go back.
I think we're talking about two different issues.
Oh no. Okay. Anyway.
I'm wondering about my lights.
Okay.
And I know the issue there. It's actually the same thing. I should redeploy this.
Yeah. By clicking to CDK starter.
No, this is my front end, my light show.
Yeah, because I think you set up the environment variables on here, and it didn't restart the build with the latest environment variables.
Yeah, don't I just need to restart it here? Like, just click rebuild?
Yeah, and you click rebuild by clicking into CDK starter.
Oh. I thought you were talking about the CDK.
Redeploy this version.
You're saying the same thing.
Yeah.
But they can't understand each other.
Like, oh god.
I was just watching. He's like, what is going on?
It's Friday.
I mean,
it's been a long week.
Oh god, yeah. This has been definitely been the longest week ever.
Yeah. It's reinvent season for all of you folks. It's a lovely time of year. So while that's kicking off, apologies for trying to be sneaky with the secrets not being taking place. But so I do want to chat about something real quick. This process that we're doing, I just want to reiterate, like, this isn't for the majority of our Amplify customers. This is to suit a particular need where Amplify couldn't be brought into an organization because of infrastructure. Is that right?
Yeah. Deployment infrastructure in particular, right?
And that seems to be like a very common scenario with Amplify. It's like you're not really locked into Amplify. It's always feel free to get started with Amplify or add it after the fact, but you're never really locked in.
Exactly. Yeah, that's actually really what makes Amplify stand out from all of these different services. And the reason for that is that we deploy everything inside the customer's account. So there is full transparency in what we do. And we build, everything on top of these shoulders of giants, right? Like CloudFormation, CDK, and all that stuff. So it's all one really cohesive ecosystem for you to create experiences like this.
Now I'm just like really waiting for this to get done building. So
Oh, really? Don't you want to check on your code pipeline? I think I saw a failure that you tried to sneak out of.
I don't sneak it. I surfaced my mistakes.
Okay.
Oh, but it did fail.
I'm actually curious why though. Build terminated. Huh. Well, let's see. Oh, something was being fishy. So how about you go into your code base again for the CDK app and then run npx cdk synth.
This is good because I have no idea how to debug CDK apps.
Well, this is the time. Oh, I think I know why. If you go to the path, you're gonna laugh. You go to just go to the path in the line 12 here and remove the slash from the stacks, the first slash. I think that's the reason why. Try it.
Let me check notes. Let me see what's going on here. Oh yeah, I didn't have that.
Oh, do you know what's really crazy? I can actually see your in VS Code live share. I can actually see your terminal as well.
Yeah, you have access to it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask about that. I've never seen this, like this code share.
Oh, this doesn't work on Xcode?
I actually am not I like Xcode more than most people, but at the same time, I would love to write iOS apps in VS Code. Like, very powerful stuff.
Did you run CDK synth again, and then you can basically see if that fixes the issue.
Oh yeah, good call.
Yeah. Otherwise, might be our problem figuring out. Oh, there we go.
We're good.
Perfect.
Okay.
Whew. Oh, it's just a slash. It's easy to debug. Don't worry, guys.
When you're deploying live, it's easier when it's Michael's mistake. It's that's the rule. So those slashes.
I think we got another good question actually from the chat. So I think Mark.
Is it this one? I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean that is the answer to everything. Coffee really is. How can I create an SMS notifications? So I think wasn't that JNUM's demo the other day? With a Slack bot, isn't that basically similar to this?
Yeah, like I actually didn't even think about that. Like I could walk away from the computer, add a hook after Amplify push is done, and then get a text message on my phone saying, "Hey, it's done." I get back on my computer. Whew.
Yeah.
I need to do that.
Don't wait for deployments to be finished. So there's a couple of things. So inside our fully managed service, we do have build notifications that you can use. Janum, who is our summer intern this year, he built a capability called command hooks, and he showed a demo on how to integrate that with a Slack bot, for instance, to tell you, hey, deployment was done. And in here, you could, in theory, also use Code Pipeline, which has its own range of different features, and connect that up with SNS. So no matter which system you use, we have a solution for you. I sound like a really cheesy salesperson now. I don't know.
Awesome. We have another question. This is actually a really good one. And this is one that I had when building out this demo. So no code quality stage, right? We're not running tests. That can easily be added, right?
Yep.
What is the question? I don't actually understand the question.
Right now, it's building, but it's just like build it and then just let everything go through.
Oh, code quality stage. Like that's oh, okay, got it.
It's like, wait a minute, like kill the build if it or exit out of the build if it doesn't pass.
Yeah.
That can absolutely be added here. There's an awesome blog post that we have, right? Is it, where are you?
You should probably type the words CDK and pipeline. Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah.
The one from Rico.
Yep. This is right here.
This one. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Like if you want to know how to build out all the stuff from just scratch, this is the answer to the question on how do you add in testing and all of that good stuff. There you go. So that's in the chat for all you folks. I'm building here. I'm building everywhere. But we did get past source. We're building. Let's check out the details.
Well, while we wait for that, one thing that I'm kind of curious about, because once again, mobile developer here, don't really touch CDK myself too much or at all. But I was curious, who here that's watching the stream is currently using CDK and might have wanted to use Amplify in the past, but they couldn't until something like this existed. So like, are you currently using CDK at work? Have you tried using Amplify? Would Amplify now be a viable client or viable, resource for you now that it can be exported? So let us know about that.
That's a good question. Quick little pulse check on the audience. But we do actually have one of our engineers chiming in here that you can absolutely add it. CDK assert is what you can use to validate your stack. Thanks for chiming in there. Appreciate it.
Cool. Looks like this one succeeded.
Yeah. Can we here pipelines? And then what stage are we at? Got the source successfully built. We got past that synth stage. It was my silly / apologies. And then it's just going to go ahead and do its thing. Notice that this is, it says succeeded, but it is previously there from an hour ago. Different commit. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And then, we have our other stage that we added. So there's one of the stacks. And then down below, there it is. We have an Amplify stage. Hasn't run yet, but it's going to. And it's just going to build out our assets. Just like if you were to, as René saw, like do like CDK synth and generate that stuff. Oh my God, what's going on?
Oh, does this work now? Let me also try. I signed up in between all of this. Let me refresh my site now.
It threw me off.
Does purple work? Oh yeah, this does work. Unbelievable. What color do you want?
Unbelievable. Like I can't write the code. What? This does work?
I didn't mean it like that. You said it yourself.
Everybody does that. What happens when I change it to black? You just turn the light off.
Really? It doesn't have, a color to it? Okay. Wow, this works actually really well. I cannot believe it. And I'm not disrespecting your code. I'm just like surprised that.
Thank you.
Next time you see René on the stream, he has a colored background too. He's like, here's my API link.
We're running close on time. I love that everybody's interacting with the lights. That's actually really cool. I could probably tweak this just a hair to get the actual light there. But we did have a question come in. Can we show us how to do like a parallel job in the same stage?
Yeah.
Can we? So I'm imagining that if we're here, whoops, in our stack, here's a stage, here's a stage. Can we nest them?
No. So what you do then is if you click into your Amplify stage here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just click into it.
Okay.
Yeah. And then just do. Oh, I can write the code.
Yeah, you're here now.
Yeah, this is for all the PMs that never get any respect from engineers that they can't write code and stuff like that. I'm here to prove them wrong.
I respect you, René. I respect you.
So first I go to the very top of the file. Oh, that's not what I mean.
Let me
First
click
I go
on
to the very top of the file and import, for instance, another stack, right? And then in here I can basically run another other API, right? And create a new other API stack. And just by setting this up, essentially, I've got my just by setting this up, I've already got my web service going, my additional other web service, right? And you can keep doing this kind of stuff. You can actually deploy 2 Amplify backends in 1 CDK pipeline. So I can actually create, my second Amplify stack and call new Amplify Export, right? I can call this, and I'll do the ugly formatter because to be consistent rather. So my second stack, and in here I can put the path and just and really use the capabilities that are already supported. So I can do dir name ... stack / amplify export light show. And now if I pass an Amplify environment and call this, for instance, like prod, what actually happens is we're going to deploy the same app to 2 different environments. So both to like a dev environment, but also a prod environment. And you can deploy as many, Amplify backends as you want. I can even pull in a different exported Amplify backend and deploy
cool.
this workflow. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And super
Well,
cool.
let's go ahead and check on the build. We have like less than 60 seconds left. We don't want to step on anybody's toes.
Oh, we're good. It's already prepared. I mean, we're not going to be able to finish the entire build, but it's prepared. It's succeeded in terms of cloud formation. And then the last step is just deployment. So I think we have enough proof in the pudding to call this good.
Yeah. You do want to click into details just to prove people it is cloud formation. And ta-da, it goes. Oh, there you go. There's the different changes are associated to it, the off roles that are added and stuff like that. Yeah. So those are all the resources from Amplify added.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, folks, I definitely want to thank everybody for joining us this week. I hope that you learned a lot. We're definitely going to be publishing more material in different formats on blogs, videos, etc. coming out. Keep changing those lights. And I hope you just enjoy the rest of your weekend. Again, thanks for joining us this week. It's been amazing. We're going to sign off now.
Okay. See ya.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.